Okay, we're back to playing Stellaris, and this time I'm going to make a few changes, so we'll just start up a new game. What I've done is I've turned off the background music. I'm not sure if there's a copyright that will activate, so I'm going to turn off the background music, just have the game play with the in-game talking. I'm going to try to avoid this sort of thing where I'm doing this with the mouse. I was re-watching my last video and it was distracting me. It was very bloody annoying, so I'll try to stop that, but it's a little thing I do when I'm thinking. I'll just kind of circle around, so I'll try to keep my mind off doing that. So let's start a new game. So what I've done is I've deleted all the random empires I created because I wanted to start like a fresh game. I thought instead of playing one of the main ones, we'd actually select create a new empire, so I could go through all the different options for it. Like, these are all pre-made, all the options are there, but we'll just start a new one because I believe the options have changed as well. So create a new empire, select that. Okay, no, go back to appearance. So we can be humanoids, which are mammals for the most part, but you can see there is a... Oh no, it's not in here. Okay. Machines, as I think is from Synthetic Dawn, but I think they've added a few more traits in this one. Mammalian, this is the one I was thinking of. Okay. Reptilian. I like this one here. Let's see. No. Avian. I'm probably going to stick with human for now, but I just want to go through some of these. So these are insects. I like the little lizard looking insect thing here. These are slugs. Where's that slug I used to like? Maybe it might not be a slug that I'm thinking of. Oh, plantoid's a new one, I think. Okay, looks like a pulsating heart sort of fungus thing. So these are fungus. Looks like a frog fungus. Okay, plantoid. Ooh, Venus flytrap. That looks interesting. Okay, humanoid sort of plant. Okay, let's just go with humanoid. That's obviously a Vulcan. That's I know, an elf. More of an elf than a Vulcan. Okay. Our female version has longer hair. Yep. Okay. We will be playing as a male because I find that role playing, you play as similar to yourself as possible. So we'll start with a male human. Go to next. Name. Let's just go with tuber because YouTuber. Tuber. I'm not very creative, so we'll just go with tuber again. An adjective, we'll just go to tuber. Not very creative at all. Biography is basically what pops up at the beginning of the screen. Again, I'm not very creative, so I won't even bother randomizing a story here, but you can write whatever you want. Go by your favorite TV show and just kind of make up a background from that series or whatever you want to do. So we'll go to the next, which will be the name list. So what happens is at the beginning of the appearances, every appearance has different, I think 4 for every single one. Yep. Humans have an extra 3. What this will do is when you build ships and planets, it will automatically name them. So once you go through all of this, I believe it goes to like 0, 1 or something like that, or /A or /B, just so that you've gone through all the names, because there's only so many names they can put into the game. I guess they can make up, and then once you go through all the names, it will just go to A and B and stuff. Same with the planets, ships, fleet names. There's not as many fleet names because fleets are groups of ships, but again it just goes to .B. So you can see when I change it, the names themselves will change. And then with humans, so it's an Australasian sort of naming. Not too sure. Not very good with nationalities. So I think we'll just stick with the humanoid because we're going with humanoid 1. So we'll stick with humanoid. Okay, the next one will be traits. Now this is very important to set up your empire. Okay, so you've got trait points. So when you go and get a red one, it will minus it off here. So you have 3 if you grab this one. But if you get one of these ones, it will take one of your trait points, makes that 7. So we'll just show. Oh no, they've changed that again. Oh no, yeah, got it backwards. So that's how many traits you can pick. So you can get 3 of these green ones to make yourself, or 2 green ones to make yourself like non-adaptive. That you really do not want this one. If you want to be able to populate different planets, because your continental world, and I think we'll get to the planetary thing in a different thing, but continental, and then above I think you got like a colder planet, slightly warmer planet, and that's like 90%, and that's 85% or something like that. And as you get further away, it gets from cold to frozen, and you go from like 90 to 85 to 80 and so forth, and then there's another range of planets here and planets here which are just completely different. So we'll get into that when we get to it. But Garian, food is important, but you should really be able to get the food going on really well. Energy credits is always important, but again, there's a lot of resources in the game, so you should be able to maintain that. Same with minerals. This is extremely important early on in the game. Intelligence, getting as much research as you can so that your civilization is more advanced than all the others will help in getting your ships upgraded. Your minerals and energy, your food will be upgraded through this. So this is this one will help the other 3, and also help just in general research, getting all your ships upgraded, your planetary system upgraded. So I always like to choose this one if I can. It depends on your gameplay. You might want to be warrior-like, so you want to get your minerals up so that you can build ships quicker. But again, lots of minerals in the game, you shouldn't really need that. This is just this one, but one particular output. Now I always like to have, which one? This one, society, because society is the one that helps you grow your empire in general. In this update of the game, it might be completely different, but I find that if I can get my food, planetary systems up and running, then I can get my energy and mineral and other resources going by having this one just go super fast. Extremely adaptive. So when you colonize a planet, you actually need 40% or above to colonize, but the happiness cap is at the percentage. So if you've got a planet of 40%, your colony can only be 40% happy. With that happiness, it affects growth rate, migration, work ethic, and it also creates factions within the empire. If you've got a negative impact, factions will try to take over that planet, and once they take over the planet, they change the entire governing system to what they want. So you want to try to keep it very adaptive, but as you can see, it costs 4 points and I've got 0 points left. So I've got to get something in the green here. Well, you don't want to be unadaptive. You don't want slow breeders either, because the whole point is to spread out as fast as you can and colonize as much as you can so that your empire grows and you can do a lot more. Slow learners. This one doesn't really bother me all that much, but there are certain aspects of the game where you need a leader with extreme intelligence, and because, well, not extreme intelligence, intelligent points, experience points. So there's 5 levels, or there used to be 5 levels, and some of the research takes a level 5 researcher. So you really want to think about this one. You might use it, but I think it's very, very unlikely, because you really want your leaders to gain experience as quick as possible, so that they can, when they gain experience level, they gain a trait sometimes, and with that trait it even helps a bonus in their field. So you want to probably avoid that one if possible. Quarrelsome, unity output. Well, unity is extremely important in this, so you want to try to avoid that one as well. What are we? Weak. Ooh. No, you don't. Army damage is when you invade a planet. You want to keep your ship strong, but you can really, depending on the cost of your army, it costs 1 energy to start off with, but you can drop that maintenance cost with technology upgrades. So this one, this one's iffy. I'll probably come back to this one. Sedimentary. You want the migration to happen as fast as possible, because the faster it happens, the less it's going to cost you in the long run, because as soon as you build a colony ship and send it out, it used to cost 8 minerals. I'm assuming it's going to be roughly the same. 8 energy, sorry. So when you send that out, it takes however many months to get to the planet, and then it takes however many months to settle the planet. So if your migration speed is minus 50%, instead of taking a year, it's going to take a year and a half. And the cost is plus 25%. So instead of 8 credits, it's going to be 11 credits. Or 10 credits, sorry. 10 energy credits. So you really want to avoid this one if you can. Solidarity. You don't want them to be unhappy. You want them to be as happy as possible. But with, again, with other research, the happiness can be brought up. Repugnant. This will have other species not like you at first sight, so that can be bad for border friction. Yeah, see, this is the thing I was talking about, factions. You don't want this one for sure. You want to try to avoid factions altogether. Leader's lifespan, you want to keep that as high as possible. But at the beginning of the game, this might actually be pretty good, because you can actually get technologies that help give the lifespan a longer lifespan. So this one might actually be pretty good to start off with, because the beginning of the game is going to be slow, and by the time you get to your technologies, the first one will cancel this out, and then the second one will give them plus years. So I might take that one for now. Consumer goods. I believe this affects the cost of things. So your minerals will go down. But again, if you're doing well with your minerals, it doesn't really matter. So I think... but then again, wasteful. Any of these could put you in a negative feed with the other empires, because other empires, if they're not wasteful, and very few of them would be, they won't like the fact that you're a wasteful empire, so that might actually give you a negative impact. But for this game, I think I'll use it. Ethics are important, like I've been saying, but there are other aspects that you can use, like charismatic. Other species will be more likely to be happy with you. There is... No. Active. Oh, that could be good, but again, not really necessary. Rapid breeders would be good. So I guess this takes you up to level 6, which gives you the probability of a new trait. You want your leaders to learn as quickly as possible, but the in-game learning speed is pretty good. It's only the late game where you've got less things to do that the leader capacity, learning capacity is important. But by then, hopefully, you would have extended the lifespan of them, and it won't be too hard. Traditional unity output is extremely important late game, but by late game, you should have enough technologies to build buildings that output unity. So that's not necessarily a thing. Army damage is pretty good. Nomadic. So this one would be pretty good as well. Commercial. You want happiness. There are so many good ones down here. Defense army. So this is the one on your planet, not the ones you send out. So the army left on your planet will actually be 50% stronger. Now, that's pretty good considering that you might not have the technology to have a strong army, and their army might be twice as strong as yours. So you might want that one. But again, late game, you should have enough technologies in your army to plus 80. There's no point picking this one for plus 20 when we've already minus 10. And again, we've already used wasteful. So I'm either gonna go for a 2 up the top here. Which one was it? Habitability, because that's always good. The more planets you can habitat, you can colonize, the better. But again, there are technologies that are in later game that will help you get better planets. So that one isn't really needed. Rapid breeders is good. The faster you can grow your colony, the better you're going to be able to mine resources off your planet. So rapid breeding would be a good one. Don't really care about that. Like I said, there's a lot of technologies that will help with that. Unity output, army, migration, growth speed. Yeah, I'm going to go for a fast growing empire at this point. So that's the traits. Let's go next, homeworld. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Okay, so continental is basically Earth. Wet is very islandy with lots of water. What's this one here? Oh, wait a minute. Should go ocean world. So yeah, ocean world is like a little bit of island. Tropical is a lot of land but little ocean. And then once you go from wet, you go to frozen. Tundra is basically a dry, rocky, cold planet. Alpine. Alpine sounds like foresty, so I'm not sure why, but they should be the other way around, I think. But again, yeah, it just gets colder, more dry, more desolate. And then you've got the Arctic world, which is basically just a giant snowball. Okay, then you go from continental up, so you got like an 80% chance of colonizing. 80% of happiness, 75, 70, and so forth. But they can drop down to like 20, and then with technologies that 20 can go to 25 to 30 and so on. So from wet down to tropical, you can get savanna, which is almost deserty. It's very dry, and then this I think is the arid. Yep. So this is basically a desert world. Oh, this is that desert world. So this is just pure desert, no water. I think there's just a little bit of water, bit of cloud cover, as you can see. So you start off at any one of these, and then when you start off, I think this will go to the middle, and then it has its own percentage. So from no matter which planet you start on, you should always be in the middle, and then all the other planets will kind of have their 80%, 75%, 60%, so on and so forth. So home world is Earth, because we're just going to play basic Earth. Star will be Sol, and random, no, we'll go to the Sol system. Dry climate, so we'll start off with the wet climate. So this is our basic Earth planet. We could always go like what are we? I guess a post-nucleonic World War III sort of thing. Like you've just ended World War III, you realise the planet's dead, you need to get out into space. Again, you can write whatever you want in the species name where you had that little tab to write stuff. So I'm just going to start off with Earth. Got their stuff together and want to get out into space and explore. Okay, so for every species appearance there is, they've got their own city sort of build. So you got the humanoid city, you got the planetoid city. Oh, this is one of the expansions that I haven't actually played with. Mammalian. I always like the fungus. That one always looks really cool. You can see here they've got these sharp little edges, got these towers. So they're basically all the same. They've got this large tower, then they've got the smaller ones around it, and they've got another tower off to the side here, for the most part. But, I think again, because we're playing humans, we'll play the human city. Oh, and the window changes as well. Oh no, it doesn't. Where's that one? That might be in one of these. So you can see in that in the window where the actually that looks pretty. Yeah, that one looks better than the humanoids. I'll stick with this one. Oh, I think this will also affect the look of the buildings when you're on your planet view and you're building. Like it will look more structured like this, and instead of this golden sort of sharp sort of edged city, it will have a more human city looking build to it. So go to the next one again. Ugh, this is a video in itself, really. So for when you do, if you pick this, you can't pick that because they are against each other. It's like when you were picking the traits. You didn't want a negative one just to get a positive one. So this one you can't actually get a negative and a positive because they cancel each other out. If you can see that the yellow circle jumps over, but if I pick this one, the yellow circle stays because they're not opposites, they're working with each other. So this one is army damage. I'm not really going to focus on military, and technologies again should get you there. Starbase influence cost, claim influence cost. So when you build a starbase, it costs like 100 to build it, 100 influence. But with this, it's only going to cost you 90. With this one, only 80. You know, I'm not exactly sure about the cost, but you know, it just drops. It's not really important, but cannot give alien full citizenship. Oh, okay. Oh, xenophobes. I don't like xenophobes. I like xenophiles. They are very happy to have borders with other people. So you might be like, well, I don't care. I'm in charge. I don't care about border friction. But the game calculates it, not you. And then with border friction, if you've got a negative impact on your border friction, it could start a faction within your city, within your empire that wants to be against aliens altogether. So you really want to keep your citizens happy, and because you're going to have a lot of border friction, you want to keep your citizens happy. So you want to, again, it depends on your own gameplay. You want to try to keep the citizens happy with less border friction. I don't think that translates to the other alien empire, because if they've got this one, their own border friction will calculate that they're against you. So you want to try to keep your own factions happy. Peace. Population. Okay, so your population will be a lot happier. And instead of starting off with one or two core planets that you can colonize, you'll start with one planet and be able to colonize another one. This one you can get +2, so instead of just having 2 planets, you might have 4. And then again +4, so you'll have 6. So that's a good one. Especially early on when you want to colonize. If you want to colonize early on, this is a very good one because the technologies to research governing extra colonies is a mid-game level, and without this, you're gonna have to sector off your planets. And if you don't want to leave control to other people, you pretty much will want to get as many planets in your own core system before you start putting sectors up and having them run themselves. Okay, monthly influence. So this is more of a control thing. I don't care to enslave aliens. I prefer to. I'm more of a Federation sort of Star Trek player where I like to build a Federation and have them join. This is a peace again. Hollowed worlds. Monthly unity. Unity is important. Edict costs. I don't really use edicts apart from researching, so I don't really care about the edict costs unless they've changed a lot of the game. This should not really be all that necessary. Once this. Now I'll keep the tutorial on. Yeek. Okay, I like to have robots. If you choose this, you won't have any robots. But I like to have robots because they're a lot stronger in mining. They can get a little bonus. Oh no, you can use robots. What's this all about? Okay, so as you can see, your research output is plus 10%. Research output. I don't like academic privilege though. Okay, I'm gonna... Again, you've only got 3 points to spend. That's a 1 point, that's 2 points. So you can see I've got 1 point left, or 2 points. Ooh. Full AI rights, yes, this is the one I want anyway. So yeah, I want allow the robots to edict costs monthly unity. Let's just go with these 3. Again, you can just go with a 2 and a 1, or 3 of those. But again, I can't use this because I've got that. I can't use this because I've got that. And I can't use this one because of that. Okay, now I've got 2 more civic points. So I think they're all green. I don't think there's any red ones. Yep, okay. So each one gives you a slight bonus. And again, for each one of these you choose, you've got a different governing ethic. Okay. As you can see, it has gastrate consciousness ethic. So I can't actually use this as a governing ethic. Can't use this one. I can use this one. Can use this one. Okay. So I would probably go with this one here, just because once you choose one of these, you have to choose, oh, you don't have to, but you got the option of choosing who you want to rule, whereas this one does it in the background. It's one less thing to worry about. And the rulers themselves, they just have bonuses, random bonuses, and even if you chose one of these, when the election pops up, you won't necessarily get it, but you've already spent the influence points on them. So I just like to have it automatic. And as you can see, this all changed. So we'll just take that. Oh, I can't. Okay. So you can see here when you go down the bottom, where are we? Oh, actually, I think you have to click. As you can see, it says militarist, so I can't actually choose this one. So you've got to be careful as well. You might want a specific trait here, or civics. And in doing that, you might not be able to get it if you choose this particular trait, authority figure. But they're the ups and downs of it. So let's see. Oh, I don't really care for resettlement costs. Again, very good early on, but late game it doesn't matter. Edict costs, don't really use them. Core systems are +2. So what are we at here? Do we get now +2? So if we start off with 2, we've got 4 now, and this will give us another 2. So that would be 6-star systems we can colonize without having any sort of negative impact. Consumer goods. Now I think one of these, I'm not sure if it was this or the trait, but we've already got the consumer goods up a bit. Okay. Okay, free haven. This allows for aliens to join your planets without being part of your empire. So just say one empire has factions that are unhappy. Before they can even become a faction, they might actually join your empire. So you'll have just an extra person of an alien presence on your planet working for you. The thing is that when you build a colony ship at that particular planet, instead of just having a human ship go out, you'll have the possibility of having one of those aliens to come out. But I think it pops up as an option. Do you want the human or the alien? You just always choose the race you're happy with. I think the more humans there are, the happier your overall planetary systems will be. Building costs, not really necessary. Let's see. Does not have... Okay, so... Philosophy King. Don't really care about that. Again, this will help prevent factions from popping up, but there are other choices within the game. Just try to keep your happiness up. Does not have, doesn't have. So pretty much I don't think I can do, oh, okay, it's all in the grey. So anything that's green I can do, but anything in the grey I cannot. Which is odd, because normally the, I know, it's all grey, I know. Bit colourblind there, fellas. Okay, organic, don't really care for. Resettlement costs could be good if that affects the overall costs with energy. That can be very helpful, but I don't remember it doing that. Edict, don't use. Can be good early on. Don't really care. Okay, this I'll take this just because it can help with population growth. As long as you keep your citizens happy, there shouldn't be any significant negative impact on your society. And what was the other one? Police state. That again, those two will work together, because if you get a faction that is xenophobic, this will help calm them down. So in general, those two should work very well together. Okay, so let's go to the next one again. Hang on, appearance. That should have given me the choice of male or female. Add voice or voice. So this will be based on the game. I'll just leave it as standard. Empire name. I think Terran is the most basic. And again, I'm not sure what the adjective is. I'm just going to leave it as Terran. Okay, next. Okay, so you got 3 different things you can do here. You can put a icon, which changes up here, as you can see, but they're always in gold. I don't think you can change that. The primary color is this thing here, so the red on these, and again you can change that to whatever you want. I always like blue. Blue's one of my favorite colors. I don't really have a favorite color. And you want to have it somewhat something earth-like, I guess. And we want to colonize. We want to, so that looks like a decent thing. With the secondary color, let's see what red looks like. Yeah, I think that stands out pretty good. So yeah. There is something very Federation-y like in here. Not this one in particular. Let's see. There it is. United Nations sort of Federation sort of look. So if you're a Star Trek player, you can always use this. There is a Star Trek mod, but I think it broke with this new update. So hopefully the person that created that mod will actually continue on to make that mod better and interactive with this new game. Okay, again with the ships, I think the humanoid and the mammalian have been, sort of swapped out a bit. I think the mammalian looks more human-like. Sorry if you can hear, that's my phone going off. Okay, so I'm going to try choose the mammalian ships again, because I just think they're more, oh here we go, I want a male. Okay, name. Johnny the third. There we go, Johnny the third. Let's see what prototype. Let's stick with that hairstyle. And that changes the hairstyle there. That should have stayed the same. The face should have changed hairstyle. There you go. Well, hair and beard should be separate, I think. It would be a lot easier to... it wouldn't have so many different things going on. I think we'll just stick with the original. How many different styles are there? 33. we'll just stick with the original color variant. Okay, I thought this affected the oh no, this is the clothes here. Very warlike, I think. Diplomatic. I think that looks diplomatic. We want to be a diplomatic sort of species. And this is the window I was talking about earlier, so let's see. I like a computerized window. I think that would be nice. Like you get information TV screen on your window. Next. Okay, so this is pretty much everything you've done. Once you've finished here, you go to save. Now, if you've missed a trait or a governing option here, it'll actually tell you when you saved it. Okay, so everything is good. Saved, and then done. Okay, we'll start with a huge one, elliptical, AI empires. So you'll have 30 other empires to work against. We'll have them all start as basic. Fallen empires will have as many as possible because they can be a buffer. As long as you leave them alone, for the most part, they'll leave you alone. So empires are pretty good. Marauders are just another sort of advanced pirate. They can turn into empires. So you could probably have up to 33 empires. But if you wipe these out early, they won't be able to become an empire on themselves. Tech tradition costs. So basically, if you bring this down, it takes less time to research technology. If you bring it up, it just makes it a lot longer. So if something's going to take you a year, let's see how far up it goes. Oh, 5 times longer. And because you want to get this game over as quickly as possible, you want to keep this low. Maybe for your first game, you want to keep it right down to 0.25, which will be, 3 months instead of a year of research. And that will just help make the game faster for new players, but we'll just stick with the original one. Habitable worlds, you want that as high as possible. You want to be able to colonize as much, but don't forget, habitable worlds affects the enemy empire as well, so they'll have 5 times as many likely planets. And if you have the same planetary needs as another empire, you're fighting for resources, which will create a friction between the two empires, because they'll want the planets you have. So they might actually go to war just to get those planets. Primitive cultures are pre-space faring. Some more often they'll start off as a Stone Age empire, and what you can do is build an outpost around them. And what you're doing is you're researching primitive cultures, so that puts more resources into your research, but it costs energy and minerals to maintain, but it's only a low cost, so it's actually, the benefit is really good for this. So you want as many of them in there as possible, but again, your enemies will have access to them as well. So you want to be careful. You want to get as many of those as possible. Crisis strength. I'm not entirely sure what this affects. I know there's an asteroid hitting a planet. Sometimes it'll wipe out one square. I guess if you have it all the way up, it could take out the entire planet. But with the asteroid strike, you've actually got time to send your fleet in and destroy it. Mid-game and end-game start year. I assume this affects it. So you start in 2300 and in 2400. So after 100 years, the game will have an end-game crisis, or probably just end. And whoever has the most points wins that particular game. I'm assuming that's how it works. AI aggressive, you want them low, therefore they're going to be less border friction, less likely to attack you, and very likely, more likely to join a federation and be part of a coalition and help you fight. Difficulty, for new players, you want it normal. I think that's the lowest, because insane, hard, very hard, and hard, normal. So normal's the lowest, low is the lowest here again. I think normal, high, low. Empire placement, let's see, clusters. So you'll have 3 or 4 really close together and then a void of empty space. So the 3 that are closest might start fighting. That will stop them from spreading out, might give you a chance, but again, you're going to be clustered with a lot. Random is kind of equally spaced throughout the universe. So once you're choked off in a certain point, you're pretty much stuck there. That's the difference. Advanced neighbors. You don't want anyone more advanced than you next to you, because they're more than likely to try to overrun you, because they want to take the planets. They know they can. They're stronger than you. Okay. Hyperlane density. Now I think this affects how many star systems are connected, and I had this very low. Actually, let's see what that does, because this would be very good with choke. No, we'll start with 1. But yeah, if you want a lot of choke points and a lot of ability to colonize an arm of stars that no one else can get to, I'd say bring it right down. But for this, I think we'll just have it at 1. Abandoned gateways are like a Stargate. They send the ships somewhere, but it's a one-way trip. So you want to try to get this, because if the enemy can get this before you do, they will be able to send an enemy fleet straight into your main system and attack it, while your fleet's off on your borders trying to defend your borders. So gates are very important, but if you're going to have any, I'm not sure if you can have 0. You can, good. So for beginners, I'd probably bring that down to 0, just so you got more defensive on your own borders. Okay, I don't know how you can have a 0.7. I think okay. So wormholes are a stable warp thing across the galaxy. So there's only going to be 1 pair in here. So what happens is, if this wormhole's near your border, you want to defend it. You want to put space stations and weapon turrets all around it, because anything that comes through that's hostile, you want to wipe out as soon as possible. We'll turn this off, because in my last game, I had it turned on. I couldn't save the game. So you want this turned off if you're a new player. If you're learning how to play, you want this turned off just so you can save it whenever you feel like it. Because if it's turned on, you're eligible for achievements, but if you don't know what you're doing, the achievements are going to be hard to get. So you really want to start off with turning off the achievements, but being able to save the game. So we'll start a new game. Sorry about the squeaking, it's my old chair. Again, I haven't got much money, and I'll be trying to saving up and getting new things to avoid these sort of background sounds. Okay, so if you watch the previous video I did, this will just be a rough guide of what your civilization's been up to. So you can pause the game and read that, but I'm just going to begin. Okay. Research. Physics lab will increase the amount of physics, which is energy research. So energy production, laser weapons, shields, anything to do with energy. Yeah, you want to increase your research, so you'll want the physics lab out of those 3. Unity is very good. If you can get that early on, that increases this, and once you get a whole heap of these, you can get benefits. Well, these 2 are very, very important. Okay, early game you want this. Late game, sorry, you want this to get your farms up and running with new colonies. You want your food production to be high, therefore your migration and colonization upkeep will be just faster. But unity, you want that monthly unity. As soon as you can get more unity, do it. Okay. Because this is more of a war thing, you won't be fighting early game. That is not important just yet. This is a facility for increasing your research in engineering, which is weapons, ships, and mineral production. Army strength is not important early on in the game, because that's for when you get attacked or when you're attacking planets, you can send armies there. So we'll try to increase our research again. And going back to society, this will help basically in anything that involves colonization, planetary upgrades, and food production. Also, I believe influence within other empires. Okay, so that's the research out of the way. You want to start looking at your home planet. So there's no unrest because you've just started. The police state is 25%, so you're less likely to get unrest. And I think if they haven't changed it, your starbase can actually build a surveillance pod that brings the unrest down again. So the better your unrest negativity is, like you can bring that down, the better off you are. I've got +2 food. I've got 1 and 2 empty slots here, so I want to build. I want to clear this. Now, as you can see, it costs 100 energy to. It used to cost 100 energy and 100 mineral, but now they've only cost 100 energy. But as you can see, all I've got is 100 energy. But as long as you've got a plus in the energy, that's what's important. Most things will cost minerals to build. Energy to maintain and minerals to maintain. So spending 100 energy right now isn't a big deal. As long as you can keep this above 10, you're good to go. Because as soon as you build another resource collector, your maintenance will go up. So once your maintenance go up, you'll, instead of having 10, you'll have 9. So for everything you build, it drops a point. But there are technologies that will make that drop by 25%, 50%, so on and so forth. So I want to clear this for more food. So once I get that cleared, I've got 1, 2 food for the next 2 population. Then once I build a farm on there, I think the farm itself increases the food by 2. So that will be 1, 2 for this food, and then another 1, 2 for the food. But with the technology here, there was a farming thing where it upgraded the farm to level 2, which gives you another food. So once that farm is researched, I'll have 1, 2 and +1, 2, and then this will give me an extra 3 food when I've only got 2 more windows. So hopefully by the time the population grows to that level, I will have that level 2 farm and be able to get more food going. Now with the administration or capital building, this is the capital city, any tile on the side of it gets a plus bonus. So this will give you extra minerals, food, and energy of 1. So that would only be 4, but because this planetary building is here, it gives you +1 food, which makes it 5. Again, that would have been 4, but now it's 5, 4 and 5, 4 and 5. So that would be 4, but because the building's not next to it, it's going to stay at 4. Okay, so I want to clear that. As you can see, I've just lost 100 energy to it, but I've got +10. So for every month, so it's year, month, and day. So once that gets to 30 or 28 or 31, whatever, that goes to 2, and then I'll get +10, +11, +2. Let's see. So Sol System Shipyard. The shipyard system has changed. Now you may build a ship. Now I can build 6 of these, which means I can put 6 ships out at one time. It doesn't mean it's going to build one ship 6 times faster. You'll actually get 6 ships building at one time. That can be very good late game, but for now you want to just see energy credits. Okay, so this will give you 4 energy credits. This will give your starbase extra hit points, extra damage. To give extra damage, this will give you +4 naval capacity, so you're up to 24, which gives you more ships. Or a shipyard, which gives you the ability to build 2 ships at once. So I'm going to go with energy. So once this won't go to 14 straight away. You've got to wait for this to build, which takes 180 days, which is, you know, half a year, so close to 6 months. So we'll build this for the energy, and as you can see, it only costs 100 mineral. So I'll see what I can do. Nothing else. So once you get the technology required, the research required, you can unlock more of these. I believe you can upgrade the starbase. So I'm lacking the starhold technology and 650 credits. So it's going to cost 750 credits to upgrade. Plus I need the starhold technology. And what I believe that does is it just gives you an extra module. And it brings this down. So you just get an extra module. I'm not sure about the buildings themselves. But I don't know why you'd want to downgrade. I think you'd just get minerals from that, but you'd want to keep that as high. Or maybe if you know that system's going to be taken out, you might want to downgrade the system so that the enemy doesn't get a strong starbase, because starbases aren't destroyed in this game. They're actually taken over. So let's see. So we got the starbase. Your starting military is just 3 corvettes. Now you want to get them to about 6 or 7 corvettes early on, but maintain a low level, because if the surrounding empires think you're a threat to them in a military manner, they may attack you just in a preemptive strike. So you want to keep your military level, you know, halfway, about 10. So whatever your maximum is, you want to keep it about half of that early on, and then as the game progresses, you might just go up to like the 15 and then 20. Just keeping an eye on their military might. So if you're equal to theirs, they'll see you as equals, sort of thing, depending on their stances in military and policy. Okay, so construction ship. You want to keep your energy and mineral high, and I think the only thing you can build here, because anything in the yellow has already got a station built on it, anything in white has no station. So you got a research here, you got energy here, and what was the other one? Oh, it's just fleet. That was white was a fleet. You got minerals being built. You can get 2 more energy and 3 more minerals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the mineral first. That will bring this up to 14. And once I get 90 of these, because it's going to cost 90 to build this. Oh, 67. Awesome. So once I've got another 67, I will, it might be because it's in the home system, or it might be one of my traits that I picked up. I haven't played this game in a long time, and again, this is for beginners and learners, so we're learning together. So that costs 67. Once that goes up to 14, you'll get to 67 a little faster than 11. And once I've got 67, I'll build the energy, and that will maintain that at, as you can see, it dropped from 10 to 9. So obviously that's already starting to cost money. Before it's even built. With this one, we'll bring it up to 11, and then we can look at either building something here. Again, the only thing I want to build at this point is the food production, just so I've got the food going. Once this is sorted, I will go for the energy and then the mineral, because the energy and the minerals work together. You need energy to work the minerals, you need minerals to build the energy. But I think this early on in the game, credits are very important. You can always talk to other empires. You can actually give them minerals and energy, and because you're giving them free stuff, they will be happier with you. Okay, so we got this sorted. Now the science vessel had 2 options last time I checked this. Okay, let's see. Oh no. I might have to build something around here for a chokehold. If there's nothing here, I can have this whole arm to myself. I'm hoping there's no empires here, but if there's empires in here, if I can choke them off here, I can just build up into here and take over this arm. That will give a good early game start, but yeah, it's hard to know what's going on. So what I'm going to start off with is a survey of this system. So what I'm doing right now is I'm holding the shift key, and in holding the shift key you can actually give multiple commands. So I'm going to survey and then explore. I'm not sure what the difference is, but survey and explore. Survey and explore. Survey and explore. I'm just going to keep doing this until it stops. I think the ships can be given 100 commands, and I'll show you what that means as soon as I finish doing this. think that was it. Didn't hear a ding ding. Oh no, it's still going. Okay, awesome. There we go. As you can see, it stopped. Now, let's see if it... Okay. So once it gets to this system, you'll see a whole heap of grey planetoids. And for each thing it can research, so there's like, say there's 10 planets in here. That's 10 things on its list. And it can only do 100 things at once unless that's been updated. So what happens is it will get anywhere from nothing, like a dead star, which will be one thing to scan, up to like 15 or 20 planetoids, meteorites, and other things within the system. So that's just going to continue to explore these. I like to explore in a circle around the main system. That way I know if there's something very strategic I can build a station at. But like I said, what I want to try to do is get to here. And probably, you know, just anywhere from this area here, I want to block this off. That way I've got my own little empire in here. And I'll explore down this arm and hopefully I can get something down this end where I don't have any empires in here, because if I do, that's really bad. But if I don't have anything, I can just keep owning all of this up to this point, hopefully, and I can just get all the resources, all the energy, mineral and research mining stations I can in this arm. Now, as far as I understand the concept, I don't know how the math is worked out in the computer. For each planet you own, your research is penalized. I'm not exactly sure how that works. You'd assume that the more planets you have, the better your research. But the more planets you own, the more you're penalized in research. So you want to have as much space as possible, I believe, so that you can mine the research on all the different systems, but also not get penalized because of the amount of systems you own. So you own one system, you own two systems, but because the influence encompasses these three from this system, you only own the one system, but you can mine these three for the resources. That's once your resource bubble expands out. And I think there's that has to do with population growth and technologies and influence in general, influence research. Okay, so let's just start the first round at the slowest speed. So there are 3 speeds to go at. So normal speed, you can see High Priest. Okay, that just lets you know that the Empire is going well. That's that little icon was for that message. Okay, so you'll get these sort of events happening. Sometimes you'll get an asteroid that's going to hit the planet, but you've got a few months to get ships ready to destroy it. That's one of the mid-crisis game things. So you can see here how fast the game is moving. So if we increase it, you can see how fast it's going. But early on, you want this slow, because for every day that passes, you miss the opportunity for research once this research has gone down. So if you got it going really fast, you can have like a month or 2 go by. So you've lost a month or 2 where you can research. You want this to be slow at the beginning of the game. The problem is that it is slow. This is not a sprint sort of game. It's a marathon game where you have to sit and wait for things to happen. This tile is almost cleared. And as you can see, your population is growing now. That's because there was an empty square, all the other squares are full. Now, if you don't clear these, a population won't grow on them. You have to clear them first before the population starts to grow again. So the population will freeze at the point when all the available squares
tile blocker cleared
are done. So what do we want to look at? 50. Oh, that's right. Don't really need food just yet, so I'll focus on getting this second energy once the first mineral is built. So I've got, I think it was 67, so we'll wait and see. How long will it take? It's at 85, 86. Okay, we'll just keep this going. Now, in the old game, you could send your fleet out, which was the military.
Construction complete.
Just finish this one. Build a mining outpost. Okay, so this will give us, and it didn't even give us +8. So actually, what was that plus? We just lost another mineral to it. So I don't know what that first energy we lost was. Okay, so when you send your science vessels out, they will research starting find planets in life for the first time. Okay, this will start an event later on. So this will start an event later on where you can research alien life. I think it's about 7 different systems you've got to survey, and that will give you different life forms. And then there's another event where different planetoid systems, so you can survey all the different planets.
Construction complete.
Here it is, the life form. So you can either just get 20 influence, which isn't really important this early in the game, or you can start the habitable world survey.
Situation log updated.
Okay, so we'll go here with the orange lit up icon and habitable world survey. Okay, so this might start a faction that's against alien involvement, but because we've got unrest at a decent level, it shouldn't be too effective on the systems. So what we want to do is wait a little while. Construction. Okay. So that would be the... Well, the only thing I was building was that. So that must have been the mine. So as you can see in this system here, we've got energy and minerals for each planetoid this thing surveys. Let's see, where are we? Okay, he's surveying this. So once he's finished surveying each planet, there's a potential to find a resource, whether it be energy, mineral, or research. And later on in the game, you can research rare minerals, and you just need to put a mineral mine around it. So you've got to be careful. Sometimes they'll pop up next to what you've already got. Sometimes it might pop up on a separate planet. But you've got to make sure that your energy somehow has jumped up 4 points. You got to make sure that your energy, there you go, another 2 energy. So this system is pretty good for energy. The problem is we can't build in it because it's not within our influence bubble. Now you can build a station here, but that will cost maintenance. So you got to look at it. If it costs like 2 mineral and 2 energy, and there's only 2 mineral and 2 energy here, what would be the point? But if you build a station here for 2 energy and 2 mineral, you've got an extra 4 energy coming in. Plus it hasn't actually finished surveying this, so there's plenty more possibilities for research as well as more minerals. So it's going to be self-sustaining within this system. And as you can see, there's a habitable world here.
Complete.
Okay, that just finished the energy there. So I'm going to build the food on the Earth, but I will leave that for a while. So this is a habitable planet, but it's only habitable at 15%, which means we can't inhabit it. But if we go here, oh, there's life forms here as well. So this should be a very good output of society influence is 25%. Habitability is -5. But if you go to terraform here, you need sculpting technology, but you can actually turn this world, which is a tundra world, into a continental world. I think the negative impact here is still is left there as a -5, but as long as it's above 45%, I think you can colonize it. So hopefully one of these other planets here is colonizable. So therefore you can actually terraform it, settle on it, and expand your empire. Now, Sol, normally you start off with Mars. They must have changed this. Mars was normally a secondary planet you can colonize almost immediately, but obviously they've changed that in this game. Okay. Or maybe it might have been one of the mods I was playing, because I used to play with a lot of mods back in the day. Let's see. What can I build here? Okay, so this is another option you can do. Like with the science vessel, you can right click on the system, and what it will do is it will give you a list of all the different things that are so you can't build anything because it's outside our influence bubble. So what you do here is you right click and you can build the research station. Again, it's 90, which I believed it was before, so I don't know. I think I've got some sort of trait that gives minerals at a slightly lower cost.
System survey complete.
Okay, so that's completely finished. Now, you can't colonize within a system unless it's completely surveyed. So, as you can see, it's gone white, but as soon as this ship goes here, you'll see that this one's grey, and you can't colonize it while it's grey. It has to turn white. So, let's see. I'm not entirely sure how long this video's gone for, because I forgot to check the time before I started. But, I think that's the basics of the beginnings. I will get into these options up the top here when they become relevant. We've already looked at this one. At some point, this habitable survey will give you an option to track the planets, so you can actually click on a little icon here, which will activate a little beacon that will like a little orange ping, and that ping will let you know that these planets have alien life forms you've got to research. Okay. Before I sign off, I'm just going to go back to the... Okay, this is what I was talking about, Unity. These things will give you a bonus. So when you're going through this, you want to pause the game no matter what you're doing, because there are a lot of options. Okay, so the system's been surveyed. Unity. Now there are 7. I'm not sure... This slot is not available. Finish the tradition group. Okay, so you've got to get all 5 of these traditions to unlock one of these. So every time you unlock 5 of these, it's one of these. But to unlock these 5, you've got to unlock the actual tab itself. So you've actually got to spend 6 different Unity points on this. Now the first one was 56. The next one could be 100, and then 200, 400, and I think by the time you get to the very last one, it's like near a million Unity. But again, for every year that goes past, you can update your Unity output and get more and more and more. So it says up here 2 points, but as you can see, it's 2.6. So for every 2 years, or every 2 months, you're actually getting 5 points instead of 4. So that's a bit misleading there. So if you want to be sure of what you're getting, just check this. Just bring the icon up and it will tell you. Now this here is a video in itself, so I'm just going to stop here and save the game and then start a new video probably tomorrow when I get home from work. Okay, just save him. Save this as, well, we are called tuber. So we'll save this as tuber, and as you can see, it automatically saves the game every now and again. I think you can adjust when it saves. Okay, so we'll just save this. Exit to desktop. And as you can see, I've changed it around a bit. I think I'll leave the ones that I want to play down the bottom here, and as I've played them, I'll add them to the list up the top. Hopefully they won't get so many games that I overlap. I don't want to make this channel too clogged up. So I'll just stop the recording here, and hopefully done a decent job and you like it.